How much is a big block of silver worth? You know, I'm sure we could figure out by weight and current silver prices and everything. You know, I think a lot about value. We've talked about value on here before. Folks, my name is Joel Brashear. I am, among a few other things, an Appalachian storyteller, and one of those other things is I do work in finance and economic development. Value comes up a lot. How much is something worth? For instance, how much is this story worth? Hopefully you get something out of it. I mean, it's at least worth a few minutes of your time. Facebook says it's worth about 10 cents a minute. Now, I don't know about that, but I will tell you that I get a lot of value out of it. I get to share old stories. I get to read books. I get to play with my camera, my lights, every now and then pretend I'm working in television like I did so many years ago. But talking about value got me thinking of this story. And this eternal optimist named Happy Hal. And I'm going to share that one with you right now. Now, this was way long time ago before your granny was even born. This is a fellow named Happy Hal. And they called him Happy because nothing ever got him down. He always saw a silver line in every thundercloud. He went to this farmer when he was a youngin' and said, "Mister, I need a job." And the farmer says, "Well, I can help you, but I can't pay you for the next 7 years." And Hal said, "Well, that's great." "Great," said the farmer. "Well, yeah, that means I ain't got to worry about what to do with my wages for the next 7 years." Well, Hal worked there till he was up in his teens. It was time for Hal to move on, and the farmer said, "You've been a good worker, Hal. Here's a big block of silver, big chunk, big as his head." Hal thanked the farmer and went on his way, walking down the road. Now, this chunk of silver was heavy. I mean, it's hard to pack. But Hal was walking down the road, sweating and puffing every step. Well, coming down the other direction was a man riding a fine horse. And Hal looks and says, "Oh, mister, that's a good-looking animal you're riding right there." The man on the horse said, "That's a nice chunk of silver you packing, son." And he says, "Yeah, but I mean, it's just a big heavy rock. I mean, a man riding a horse like that, your feet never touch the ground. I bet you could ride forever and never get tired." Well, a sly grin slid across the man on the horse. He says, "Well, I tell you what, son, I'll trade you my horse for that big chunk of silver." "You mean I could have the horse and I wouldn't have to pack this big rock around all day?" And the man says, "Yeah." "Well, brother, it's a deal." Well, they shook on it, and the man took that big chunk of silver and headed down the road. Happy Hal got on his horse. He took off. He hadn't gone too far till a powerful thirst hit him. I mean, his throat was dry as the desert. He was looking around until finally coming down the way was a man leading a cow on a string. And Happy Hal said, "Oh, mister, how fortunate you are to have a cow, such a fine animal. Why, you get milk anytime you want it, quench any thirst you've got." And the man says, well, son, that's a good-looking horse. It'll take you wherever you need to go." "Oh, it's a fine animal, but I mean, I've only been here for a little bit, and I've already got saddle sores. I mean, it's hard riding." Well, a sly grin slides across the man with the cow's face. He says, "Well, son, I can trade you this cow for that horse if that's what you're wanting." "You mean I don't have to ride this horse that's giving me blisters, and I get a cow that'll give me milk whenever I want it?" "Yeah." "Brother, it's a deal." Well, they shake on it. The man gets on his horse and starts riding off. Says, and Jack starts trying to milk that cow, and nothing comes out. And Hal says, Mister, wait a minute. I can't get no milk out of this cow." And the man thinks for a second and says, "What is today?" Hal says, "Friday." "That's why, Hal, that's why. See, that cow only gives milk on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you're going to have to wait till Tuesday to get milk out of it." "Oh, okay. Well, at least I got a schedule. I'll know the schedule. That's good. The man kind of laughs to himself, rides that horse off. Happy Hal heads on down the road, walks him away, so he comes upon this butcher. And by this time, Happy Hal's parched plumb to death. Well, the butcher sees him and gives him a drink. And Happy Hal thanks him. And they get to talking, and Hal says, "Boy, that's a good-looking pig you got there." Butcher says, "Well, son, that's one of the best-looking cattle I've seen in a while. I mean, she's got some age on her." And Hal says, "Well, I tell you what, I like that pig a lot, though. You know, I got this cow to make milk. And the guy I got her off of said she only gives milk Tuesdays and Thursdays, and today's just Friday. I got to wait several days." Butcher looked at him and said, "Son, I hate to tell you, that's an older cow. Her milking days are over. But you get some good meat out of that if you wanted to. I could help you with that." Jack says, "Shoo, I hate cow steak. That beef meat's awful gristly. I don't like that a bit. Now, what I do like is bacon and pork chops and barbecue ribs." Well, a sly smile slides across that butcher's face and says, "Hal, I'll tell you what, I'll trade you this fine pig for that cow of yours, if you're obliged." And Hal says, "You mean I could have that whole pig, every bit of it, and you'll take this cow that don't even give me milk that I can't drink nothing of?" And the butcher says, "Yeah." "Brother, it's a deal." They shake on it. The butcher takes his cow to his shop, and Happy Hal sets on down the road. He goes in a piece. He comes across this miller sitting by the side of a road in front of his house, and he's working his grindstone, making some cornmeal. He says, "Mister, what are you doing?" Happy Hal had never seen this before. Miller says, "Well, I'm just making some flour. Folks around here, they bring me their corn and their wheat, and I make it into flour and meal for them. And, I get to keep some of what I make. They even pay me to do it. This is my business." "Oh, mister, what a fine job this is. I'd love to get in this business." Well, a little smile crept across this man's face. He looked at that pig and said, "Well, Hal, I tell you what, I've got an old millstone I could trade you. It's seen some wear, but it's liable to still work. You could take that with you if you used to give me that pig." And Hal said, "You mean you'll take this pig that I've still got to cut up and butcher and all that stuff, and I can just take the millstone and start working right now?" And the miller said, "Yeah." "Brother, it's a deal." Well, the miller walked around and got this old beat-up millstone that had seen much better days. But Hal took it and went on down the road. Now, this thing was heavy. It was as heavy as it could be, and every step was torture for Hal. And soon he got thirstier than he was before, till finally he came to a little creek. Well, he set that millstone down on its side, real careful like. But as soon as he bent down to get him a drink out of the creek, his knee hit that stone and it plopped right in the water and sunk, never to be seen again. Well, Hal could only smile. He's like, "I'm so glad I ain't got to pack that heavy stone another step. It was weighing me down, and now I can just walk home free and clear, not a care in the world." He got him a sip out of that creek, and he walked on to his mommy's house to tell her how great and wonderful everything in the world was. Now, was Happy Hal a fool? I can't say he was, because he was happy. He was content with every trade he got. Did he get taken advantage of? Maybe. Maybe he did. Could he have got more for that silver than a horse? When I told my son Clark that story this morning, Clark said, "Daddy, he could have bought at least 3 horses." I said, "Yeah, buddy, he probably could." But I like that one. I like that. I think that's a pretty good economics lesson for all of us, that value is only what we place on things. If you like this one, give it a like and a share. That helps me out more than you know. It lets these algorithms let folks know they're enjoying these stories. If you really like this, we've got the Front Porch Story Club. That's a subscription service that helps pay the bills and keeps the lights on. That helps me out a ton. But no matter what, we're going to have a new story here next Wednesday. That's when these drop. So till then, we'll see you next time.